So this is question 5. Again, we're working with the coordinate plane and linear equations and also functions. This question says rewrite the equation in what's called function notation. So we have this f of x equals something. So, and they want your answer in simplest form. So our equation is x minus 3, y equals 12. This is described as a two-variable equation. Usually x typically represents what's called the input, or the independent variable, and y represents the output, or what we refer to as the dependent variable. So solving for y is what is considered very, very important to this. And also, when we do function notation, the f of x actually takes the place of y. So if I look at this equation, x minus 3y is equal to 12. What they want us to do is to kind of solve this for y. So we want to kind of transform this into kind of a formula, if you will. So to do this, to get y by itself, the x has to go, it's almost treated like a constant because the -3 is a coefficient, so we have to save it for last. So the x is kind of like a constant, if you will. We want to get rid of an x by zeroing it out by using a negative x. So I put a negative x on both sides of the equation. In doing so, the negative x will zero out, and we have this -3y. And then since these are not like terms, they cannot be added together. So we have a negative x and a 12 comes down. I usually like to write the variable first and the number second. So we would have this look. And then from there, to get rid of this coefficient of -3, we need to divide by that coefficient of -3. So we can divide both sides by a -3 like this. So we have y equals, and typically we distribute the division here. So typically, a lot of times we'll rewrite this as negative x over -3 plus then 12 divided by -3. So some things we learn is a negative over a negative is actually going to turn into a positive. So this is where that simplifying comes into place. So we have this x over 3. And then we have plus then, and 12 divided by -3 is actually a -4. Now, if you want to, instead of saying dividing by 3, you could bring this out as a coefficient and write this as 1/3 x. Instead of saying plus a -4, you can just simply say -4 because that kind of implies a plus a -4. So in simplest form, we would write this as y equals 1/3 x minus 4. So for function notation, we replace the y with f of x. So f of x equals then this 1/3 x minus 4. That would be the way I would write that as a function. So I would prefer to create what we call a coefficient of x. And then this -4 becomes the constant in simplest form.